We're back with our friend Darin Myers, who is the facilitator of TAB CSRA, the alternative board. And last time we chatted a bit about the types of reasons that someone would want to join an advisory board. But tell us a little bit more. Take us inside the meeting a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, first of all, let's just talk about, sometimes obviously people are telling me they're not interested in the board, and I'll tell you, which is fine. I understand there's circumstances that would prevent somebody. But the one thing that I have a hard time accepting, and it's a large time, the biggest answer is, I don't have time. And honestly, I think that's maybe a little BS, just to be a little blunt.
Sure.
Look, day-to-day business owners across this community get into the trenches and have to deal with firefighting and day-to-day activities, and that's where they make their bread and butter. So
they make the sausage.
I appreciate that, and that's where they clearly need to be. But sometimes they need to step back and look at holistically, more strategically.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes we play sergeant or firefighter so much that we never step back and play general. And as the CEO of the business, you need to play general from time to time.
Right.
And don't work in the business, but work on the business. And I just think there's a great opportunity. We meet, specifically to your question, 4 hours a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same day, the same time every month, so everybody knows in the board when it is. We have a great attendance. Our attendance is fabulous. And we're committed to a 4-hour time slot.
Mm-hmm.
We don't go over, and it's good for people's respect of their time and schedule.
And I'm not a mathematician, but in a course of a month, you have roughly 150, 200 work hours. So 2%.
Right.
So,
4 hours a month to work on your business doesn't seem...
No.
And while you're there, you're getting that strategic thought and outsider perspective that maybe you need to hear that you probably certainly won't hear when you're in the trenches with your team, again, doing the day-to-day firefight in your particular business. There's just a lot of nuggets that we do there. So you asked to tell me a little bit about the board. I like to avoid Mondays and Fridays. Why? Well, we know what Mondays are about.
Mm-hmm.
And Fridays, if we're doing our jobs right and your businesses are prospering, hopefully you're getting a few days off. And I like to avoid Friday for starting a 3-day weekend for those that want to do it. And that really works well with the attendance on the board. We normally have it the same day, same time period throughout the year, so people know it's on their calendars. And we frankly have several board members that tell their assistants that if there's any calendar item on their calendar not to mess with, it's their tab board, which makes me feel pretty good.
Second Tuesday of every month as it relates to me. And I like you come prepared. Not only do we dive deep into each other's situations and we help each other, but you try to set the tone topically for what is going on in the country or locally each month.
Yeah, I don't try to make the tab board an academic session. In other words, we're not going to spend 2 hours talking of statistics or so on and so forth. I do that separately in the coaching sessions. If people want to know more about a particular item, we dive deep into that during the coaching session.
That's another hour and a half a month. So
individually with the members.
That's right.
But what I do like to do is bring in issues that probably are the flavor of the day that probably many people in their businesses are dealing with. So, whether are we ready for a pending economic downturn or a recession? We've had some history lessons on past recessions over the last 50 years. We've talked about hiring strategies. So we do sometimes talk about a topical item, I'm going to say, to get the juices flowing, that maybe will take us 20 to 25 minutes to go over. At that point, we jump right in, and the first thing we talk about is last month's commitment. How well did you do on your commitment? How your personal life's going? Anything big picture? So it's a real quick lightning round.
Round the horn. Yep.
Lightning round just to hear about everybody's commitment and if you met your commitment and how things are going. And then the real meat of the board then jumps into this month's particular issues. So every board member's probably given, again, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And often business owners are very gracious with each other. If somebody's got a really complex issue, they may forego 5 or 10 minutes of their own time and give it over to somebody else. Right. So that works well.
And it's issues, and we should say opportunities. So
Absolutely.
As an example, this past month, an issue was, how do I work with the workforce I have? What kind of new people do we need to infuse? And then the board kind of gave some ideas, to this business-to-business owner that is trying to grow in the future, and looked at a lot of different angles, which I thought was great.
Yeah, opportunities we've had several of, hey, I'm considering acquiring a new business. So there's other opportunities. I'm considering doing a partnership with a particular business. So those are things that are opportunities. So it's not always issues. At the end of the day, it's your board, so you bring the issue or the opportunity that you want to talk about. We've had several that have done new brochures, new marketing material.
Yes, website,
And before they put it out to the public, hey, I want the board to give me some sanity check and get feedback on something before you put it out to the masses.
And for those out there, you may be familiar with this. If you're interested in a new logo, you'll email 8 of your friends what do you think of it? Well, when you have an advisory board, they get to kind of be the focus group of it, which is kind of cool. And I was helped this past month because we have 17,000 or 18,000 people who get our email, and we love providing some free content, but we think we have the value to do more. And you all walked me through, well, why don't you share what you do with everyone for a period of time? And it was great help, and it ended up going through pricing and how long they should sample our content. And for September, I'm excited. And we decided as a group, hey, let's show everybody what we have for 30 days. Let me earn your business. And let's see. And then in October, well,
we're going to get the results, and you'll tell us about it.
Yeah, and you'll hold me accountable.
That's right.
And I think that's really fantastic. That's a good thing indeed. What other agenda items beyond the issues and opportunities do you go through?
Well, I think too, real quickly, I think it's important people to recognize it's a very safe and confidential space. We sign, as you've noticed here, we haven't given any particular names away. It's a very safe, we all sign confidential non-disclosure agreements, and there's no competitors within a given board. Mm-hmm. And frankly, there's times where your personal lives have taken a curve, left or move right, and it's impacting your business. So I love the fact that, there are times where people will bring in a personal item that's impacting their business. Of course, that's up to them whether they do that or not. But I love the fact that people's trust and really wanting the advice of the board, even on something as important as some personal issues, is something that shows how cohesive the team can be. One of the boards down in Hilton Head, Savannah area has been established since 2004. They had originally 9 members, and 18 years later, there's still 4 of the 9 members are still intact. Mm-hmm. And so it shows you that it can really become a very critical aspect of your business by having advisory boards to put you through what given circumstances you have on any given time period.
And we're continuing with Darin Myers here, and again, it's tabcsra.com. And for those people who maybe didn't know about your previous life, I mean, you managed a lot of folks, and a pretty big company, I would say. Can we say the name of the company you managed?
Yeah, I was the site VP, and prior to that, the plant manager at Plant Vogel Nuclear Plant for many, many years, and had multiple people and large budgets to deal with. But the thing that I like is a lot of things corporate America taught me and gave me the experience to do can apply to smaller, medium-sized businesses. Maybe not to the degree, and arguably, and thank goodness. But there are a lot of things like strategic planning, SWOT analysis, sitting down from time to time and looking at what your value and your KPIs, or what we call our key performance indicators.
Annual plans.
The metrics that you use. So a lot of things that we do on our boards with our small and medium-sized businesses are very similar to, frankly, what I had to do in corporate America.
And you had a big board of directors, didn't you?
Yeah. So, but, one of my little things that I have said before is, 6 or 8 minds are better than one.
Sure.
And I'm not taking away from academia at all, but the thing that I really do love is our board members are local business owners that know our community very well. And taking a Stanford graduate, let's pick a very high-profile Ivy League type education, and you have a very impressive background, not taking away from any of that, but you cannot replace 6 or 8 peers that are working around your table that are doing business in your community. I will take that kind of advice over anybody. If I had a choice between, one person that's got a very impressive resume and they provide obviously good value, but if I had to pick between that and people that are sitting around the table, I know which way I'm going.
Yeah, because
I've seen it.
You're right, and I have too, because it's operations, it's marketing, it's management,
Right.
it's in hiring, all the key things. They've been there, done that.
And often the people that are also your customers.
Yeah, very
right?
true.
So likely many of the other 7 or 8 members around the board also buy your product.
That's right. He is a good client, and we help each other, and I greatly appreciate it, and invite you to maybe get in touch with Darin. You can check out his weekly blog and all the podcasts at AugustaBusinessDaily.com. He has one of our thought leader pages, or you can go to tabcsra.com and learn a whole lot more about the alternative board, which is been a roaring success for the last 15 months.
Yeah, and I would really, anybody interested, I've, my background, nuclear power, I can't say I have an extensive background in hard selling. And so I'm being very conversational. I'm not trying to press something. I'm just trying to lay the facts out, have a good conversation with people, remind them that it's a month-to-month transaction, and come and try it out. The record at this point would indicate that we're doing something right.
He's like the mechanic. If he takes a look under the hood and nothing's wrong, he's not going to charge you. He's honest, and he just wants to do the right thing. If it's the right fit, it is, and if not, it's not, and that's okay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you greatly and look forward to many, many more months and years ahead to grow our business. And again, tabcsra.com. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.